Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai is the brother Kadash. This is a proud day for Springfield. City celebrates race riots site as newest national monument. So when I seen this today, this pissed me off, right? Because I'm from Springfield, Illinois, born and raised Springfield, Illinois, from the streets, But we've been on the highways and byways in Springfield for years, right? And we was bringing this up. We did lessons on how it was a race riot in Springfield, kind of by the area where we used to teach at. But the thing is, it's like the race riot. Okay, so a little backstory, if I can remember off the top of my head, like was two what they call so-called black men, Judite men, that had something going on with a white woman, and they was falsely accused, and that pretty much started the race riot, and it was pretty bad. Like, they wanted those two dead, so they took it out on just, the black race that was in Springfield, Illinois. But then at the same time, it was like something about some jealousy that was happening. The article probably breaks it down where they were jealous about the improvement of the so-called black community, especially in Springfield, Illinois, right? Now, Springfield is a very unique place because it is the home of Abraham Lincoln. So you have that whole controversy going on because they say that he freed the slaves. So you have that whole thing going on. Then at the same time, Springfield is the capital of Illinois. It's not Chicago. It's actually Springfield, Illinois. And a lot of people, when they run from Chicago, they end up in Springfield, Illinois, because it's in between Chicago and St. Louis. So you could go an hour to St. Louis and maybe 2 hours, 30 minutes and be in Chicago. Maybe another 2 hours and 30 minutes and you'll be in Indianapolis. So it's really like right in the middle, right? So a lot of people end up passing through Springfield to travel, or they end up settling in Springfield, right? Now, this pissed me off because they're setting up a national monument, right? Because it says the city celebrates race riot site as the newest. It's a celebration. This pissing me off just talking about it, right? But, if they really are sincere, where's the reparation for Springfield, Illinois residents, or, just descendants? Do something for the black population, so-called black population in Springfield, Illinois, if you're really sincere. But that doesn't come, They'll give you a monument where people could go down there and celebrate it and look at it. And the Edomites, when they going down there, they not going down there like and hurt, like, man, I'm sorry that happened. Maybe every one and two of them, but for the most part, they're going down there just to see what their ancestors did to us. A lot of them might be going down there like, yeah, that's what they get, and that's just a memory. So this is really nothing. Now let's read a little bit of it. In her first term as U.S. Representative, Nikki, I ain't gonna try to say, Bazinski, said the push to make the site of the Springfield 1908, which is not really that long ago, man, race riot, a national monument, was the single largest ask of the Biden administration. So they even got the president involved, right? So how much money are they gonna have to spend on this national monument, right? When the black community in Springfield is poor, in the ghettos, the place where the Jews dwell, right? No opportunity, and then with the whole, that lady that got killed by that police officer, I think another person got ran over, another person got brutally beat and ate up by a police dog, With all those things happening and putting a spotlight on Springfield, right? This is the best they could come with. It says on Wednesday, Bazinski and others joined in a celebration, right, at St. John's. So I got kids like that was born at St. John's. You see what I'm saying? Hospital nearly 2 months after President Joe Biden made the designation official through the Antiques Act, right? Which is crazy because it's like, now I grew up and raised in Springfield, right? So I personally know people in Springfield, and I know a lot of the white community in Springfield, and I know how they act and I know how they feel. Now, they'll tolerate you. They'll talk to you. They'll even be cool with you and crack a joke with you, but it's very much still segregated. You know, you got the west side of Springfield, Cokie Mill, Cobblestone. You know, you got those sides, which is majority white, which we say Edomite communities, right? Now that's where all the wealth is at. Right, then you got the east side of Springfield and the north side of Springfield. That's where all the blacks, the Jews, that's where we dwell at, right? And that's the poor side of town. How can you have a town that's so small, but you could just clearly see the divide in the middle of the city where the rich live and where the poor live? And we talking about maybe 150,000 people at the most. Right? Now you go to the so-called black side, the east side of town. That's where the police may pull you over. That's where the Arabs got their liquor stores and their car lots and their chicken shacks. That's where the Chinese got their nail salons at. You see what I'm saying? Now when you go to the rich side, they ain't got all that. They ain't got a liquor store on the corner and everything. Everything looks clean, you know what I mean? You ain't gotta worry about being pulled over by the police and harassed and stuff like that. Unless you look like you out of place, you see? So where's the money to what they call it, the funding? Where's the funding, right, to equalize the wage gap, not the wage gap, but the income gap between the average white family and the black family, right? Where's the fund for that? Where's the push for that? But they pay for a fucking monument. So let's keep going. But like I said, I know a lot of the white community, man, they're segregated, and they know they have to tolerate you, they have to interact with you. But behind scenes, it almost feels like there's like a white militia in Springfield, you know, where these guys know each other and they kind of stick together and they prepare for if something was to happen, you know. So it's still that divide. And who knows, we may see another race riot when all hell breaks loose, right? It says, now let's keep going. It says, man, they just so excited. They celebrating them, just jumping through it. In a NAACP president, like, that's bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, it's just more of them celebrating. It says the violence perpetrated by white mobs, which that spirit is still there, claimed the lives of at least 5 people, caused millions of dollars of damage to black-owned businesses, and uprooted thousands of blacks from the city. So where's the reparations for that? Right? Scott Burton and William Dungan, they were lynched. Where's the reparations to the black community? At least set up a fund, right, where the banks maybe could come together and fund black businesses. I had a black business. I had a black business in Springfield, Illinois, right? It's not too many of us, right? And man, they won't give you a loan. Trust me, I didn't try. Every bank, they won't give you a loan, nothing set up for you, right? But millions of dollars of damages was caused to black-owned businesses. Now, this was in the early 1900s, 1908. That same million or millions of dollars, double that or triple that of today. But where's the funds? You know, this is what they do. Because, you know, you got government funds, but the government funds will go through the bank. So the government might not deny you, but the bank might deny you. They put all these stipulations, which is damn near impossible to pass, and they could deny you really for prejudice, but they could cover it up and say they denied you for one of these stipulations, which is just bullshit. And that happens in Springfield. There's no opportunity, right? Now I got a couple precepts for it, right? This is Daniel 9, right? Verse 11. It says, yeah, all Israel has transgressed thy law, even by deporting, that they might not obey thy voice, right? And us being mixed, like these Christians like to say, being mixed amongst these other nations, this is what it got us, man. This is the treatment that we get, right? But that is going against, the Lord told us to be holy, which is to be set aside, to be separate. That's going against the commandments of the Lord, right? And that's why we're in the position we're in. It says that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us. This goes back to Deuteronomy 28, where it says, in the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. And he has confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judge us, by bringing upon us a great evil because, you had the kings, the various kings of Israel, right? And then during the time of Babylon, right? Then that's when we actually started to see those curses and that slavery being put on us. Like we had already seen it before, during the time of Egypt, slavery in Egypt, right? As a people, right? But then after that, during the time of Joshua, we went back into the land. We had rulership. Then you had King Saul. Well, you had judges, right? Then you had King Saul. Then you had King David. Then you had King Solomon. Then you had various of many, many other kings. Some of them was wicked. Some of them wasn't. You know what I mean? All the way down to Isaiah time. Isaiah came on the scene. Then all the way down to this Babylonian captivity, right? And then that's when we were introduced to slavery again. And really, ever since that time, we've been in slavery, right? So that goes back to Deuteronomy 28 in the promise. It was, look, if you keep these laws, statutes, commandments, you're going to be blessed, right? If you don't, then you're going to be cursed, right? And it says, a great evil. It said, no, I'm reading 12 again. And he has confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, and bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven has not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem. Meaning that there has been no greater punishment, evil, right? Slavery, captivity, than the one that the Israelites went through. And we know that today as the transatlantic slave trade and slavery in America. There has been no other people that has been through a worse slavery than the Israelites in America. Not even the slavery in Egypt wasn't even worse than the slavery in America, right? Like I said, those two men, they were lynched. You see what I'm saying? So this hasn't happened, like a punishment worse than any other people on earth has had it like Israel. Nothing could compare to what happened to the so-called blacks and Latinos and Native Americans in America. But even still with that, we have no help from them. They don't want to give us no reparations. Like even to this day, it's just a laugh in the face. But the good news is that there's a punishment coming for them. And this goes into Deuteronomy chapter 30. That punishment is coming. Those curses that was on us is going to get put on our enemies, and we ain't going to have no sympathy for them, right? This is Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoke against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities, right? Because the Lord, you say, well, why has the Lord punished us worse than any other nation on earth doing any other time? Well, the answer is because the Lord chose us. See, this was personal, right? Now, when the Lord judges the other nations, that's business. You know what I mean? But with his chosen people, it was personal. You know what I mean? And then that goes into Hosea of why it was so personal, because we were the wife as a people. We were the bride. We were the wife of the Lord. You know what I mean? So just imagine, like, you got a wife and she go whoring and she goes in the streets and she goes sleeping with other men, but you gave her everything. You was the perfect husband. You gave her everything her heart could desire, and she still went and committed adultery. We committed spiritual adultery against the Lord. You know what I mean? So, with a marriage, you have like a contract, or what you would call a covenant, right? And you got to uphold your end of it. And we didn't uphold our end. But wait, it's more though. It's more. Now imagine you giving this wife chance after chance after chance, taking her back, cleaning her back up, taking her back after she cheated on you, cleaning her back up again, and she still don't want to get right. At some point in time, there's going to be some type of righteous judgment from your end. And that's what happened between the children of Israel and the Lord. But even through all that, the Lord still said that he was going to come back and get with us, marry us again, renew his vows with us again. That's a merciful Lord, because how many of us as men, tell the truth, how many of us as men will take back a woman after she cheated and committed adultery on you time after time after time, and you gave her chance after chance after chance? And the Lord still gonna come back for us. This Obadiah 1, right? Verse 8. Shall I not in a day, say the Lord, even destroy the wise man out of Edom, and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty man, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that everyone out of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. But this is the point. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame should cover thee, and thou shalt not be cut off forever. The shame that's going to cover them ain't no goddamn monument, man. That's not the shame where they got to walk by this monument and see the race wars. That's not shameful for them. They gonna go out there and take pictures next to it. They gonna really brag about it. That's not shameful. What's going to be shameful for them when the American dollar fails, when the American economy fails, when the American grid fails? That's going to be shameful. When they get their ass kicked in World War III, when they fighter jets get destroyed and blown up, when nukes get dropped on the land and the government goes into hiding, into bunkers. That's going to be the shame on them. That goes into the book of Revelation. That goes into Revelation 18. That goes into Revelation 17. Revelation 19. You see, that's when that shame going to come on them. And it's coming soon. With that, I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.